Hi, this is Saeed with the Bloom Show and Flowers and Scents. Willie's not here at the moment, but he's on his way. So I promise you, he will be here. We will be co-hosting, but he got a little lost because his hotel is enormous, right?
Big property.
Huge property, beautiful property. We're on the beach. We're here at CalFlowers, fun and sun, and it's been nothing but fun and sun, right?
Fun.
It's been a great experience.
It's been great.
And we're here with Danean Allan from Mooney Logistics and Mike Mooney from Floral Trade Distributors. And as we've done in the past, we like to bring competitors. They're very friendly together, so it's awesome to see. But we like to bring competitors in to talk about topics and to have a unified voice. We think it's important to share this information throughout the community and the flower industry and really show what collaboration can do and have a unified voice to really have an understanding of what they're going through so people can understand how to work with you and how you can work with them, right?
Perfect.
So it's super important. So we're going to ask some questions and chit chat a little. It's, as you know, it's very casual. Please ask questions. Comments, chime in, give Mike Mooney a what's up and tell him you love his San Diego hat.
Well, we appreciate you being here. It's a beautiful day. And
awesome.
Thanks for the invitation. And
thank you very much.
We're really happy that you came out and made the effort too. So
thank you so much. And I know there's lunchtime and we're skipping on lunch. So we'll try to make this.
Luckily, the breeze is going this way, so we don't smell it right now. So we're good.
Cool. So introduce yourselves a little bit.
Sure. My name is Danean Allan, and I'm with Mooney Logistics. And actually, I'll be celebrating my 10th anniversary on September the 4th.
And what do you do with Mooney Logistics?
Sales.
Sales? Fantastic.
Sales and operations.
And how about yourself, Mike?
Mike Mooney, Floral Trade Distributors, and similar role. I'm sure, like you said, you bring us all together. So we have a lot in common with my role and as far as sales and operations. So.
And how long have you both been in the flower industry? How long have you been doing this?
Only 10 years for me.
Only 10 years. That's a good time.
I guess professionally, 20 plus years. So
20 plus years.
I observed it as a young man.
Okay, gotcha. And so there's a lot of helicopters passing by because there's the Air Force base right down the beach. So you'll see helicopters and F-150s or F-15s.
We did just witness one.
It's really cool.
Very loud.
So
Top Gun is filming today, so
it's
pretty constant in this area. You have North Island, which is heavy Navy, and a lot of the aircraft carriers that come in need all this equipment to be reloaded and different types of operations.
So it's noisy, but it's super cool to watch.
Oh, it's awesome.
Super cool.
It's super cool to watch.
Yeah, I live on the other side of the bay in downtown, so we see the unfolding of all the operations, and it gets a little noisy, as you said, Saeed.
But it's cool. It's cool to stop. So if we stop, it's just because there's noise behind us, but we get to also enjoy the vibe. So let's start a couple of questions. Or actually, here comes Willie.
Hey, better late than
Welcome.
never.
Guest of honor.
Más vale tarde que nunca, Willie.
Yes.
You know your Spanish.
A little bit, un poquito.
Better late than never for all those that do.
Here are the questions. I'll start
Well,
with
there's
the first
Baja
one.
here.
So
straight it down.
what is the state of the logistics industry at the moment, considering what happened with COVID? How did we get out of it? You know, what have we learned? So where are we at the moment for the logistics industry?
I would say, what have we learned? Essentially, flowers prevailed. The industry did very, very well throughout the pandemic.
Okay.
That's great. Kudos to all of our customers and wholesalers out there. Everybody had to step it up a little bit, but they prevailed versus other commodities. And I would say, and I'll just make this really short, but pre-pandemic years, there was a kind of a lull in the summer. Things slowed down just a little bit. And I feel like we have that time right now to relax, focus, and we haven't experienced that during the pandemic. It was
we got back to
crazy.
A lull of
There's a little bit of a lull right now. It's quiet. It's calm.
Gotcha.
What do you think?
Well, that's a good point. I mean, the pandemic took out some of the really deep valleys in our industry, which is very strange because we go through in logistics with the high peaks and the low valleys, where COVID made it more stable and things were spraying all the time. So I think we learned a lot in that mindset that our industry is stronger when the valleys go away. That's what I learned from it.
How about burnout? I kept hearing a lot of people talking about everybody's burnout because it was just nonstop. It was Mother's Day all day long.
Sure.
All year long or something.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, Next Gen had 160 people at their show.
Cool.
A lot of young kids see that our industry is cool and vibrant. I brought some of my staff today, Ruben and Esmeralda, both in their 20s, and they're 24/7, and I work 12. So I mean, we all get older, and we need to find high energy. And I think the flower industry, because of COVID and everyone at home on Instagram, for a lot of things, the succulents and a lot of crazes that are trending right now. I think the flower industry is primed to attract exciting young talent to do those 20-hour days to keep things solid all year round. That's my opinion.
And how about yourself?
Same. I feel like people are burned out only because the minimal amount of labor that you have maybe in the warehouse, in the office, everybody had to step it up during the pandemic. So it was challenging on those that were working longer hours and trying to fill in the gaps.
Are you still working the same amount of people, or are you still when pre-pandemic?
I feel as though we are still short labor and drivers, of course.
And that's still a thing happening short labor.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I would say the same, Sahid. We probably have 20% more business and the same amount of people. So of course, it's been very stressful with overtime and opening that third shift at night to find folks who want to work at night and operate heavy equipment and work manually and not make mistakes isn't easy, especially when the shift is midnight to 8 in the morning. So I think that's a good question for the future. We need to recruit, that kind of labor because we're very short and it's very expensive. But you have to kind of hire within and be open-minded a little bit for the young folks.
And I have a little bit of inside information.
Top Gun goes well.
Pause.
Freedom coming by. Yeah. That's a fact. Give us a moment as the sound of freedom comes by.
And because I have that little bit of knowledge, I know that the family has had to import drivers. I think Mexico, right? They brought in drivers from Mexico.
We have a program. I don't have a lot of details that I could potentially share right now, but there is a program that we are bringing in. The plan is to attract and bring in some more drivers.
That's being creative.
Yeah, I think we're seeing the same thing. The creativity of the new driver membership that's coming on board, because folks are at home maybe with minimum wage jobs. They're seeing on TV that there's these high-paying driver jobs. So there's a lot of motivation out there, but it takes time for these kind of programs you're describing to develop, I think.
Yeah. Have you been forced to do some automation? The growers, I've seen more and more robots showing up in farms and more things that you can do with less people.
Well, I hope so. I mean, our tours when we go to Holland or, fortunately the industry takes us internationally and we see those kind of facilities. It's high investment, I think, from whether you're a retailer, a wholesaler, a bouquet maker, a farm, or a trucking company. You're starting to look more closely at those kind of things.
Sure, absolutely.
And what have been some of the best practices you've taken out of COVID? What have you learned from COVID and then that you've implemented and continue to implement, and we're happy that you were able to pivot with it?
For us at Armelini, we've been working closely with the warehouse staff and the shippers to try to make our procedures more efficient, better practices for keeping the products safe, loading better, making it easier on the drivers, everything from days of service, route modifications, those types of things, to be able to retain and retract the drivers, because obviously that's still an ongoing challenge. We also actually opened up a driving school at Armelini at our corporate office, so that we can train the drivers and educate them. Once they pass, and they have a job.
So you have a funnel,
Correct,
a resource coming through.
Yes.
And how about yourself? What have been
specific to COVID? It's been a challenge to keep the eye on the ball with the future. So I think when we're so busy, we lose track of the 5-year plan and the 10-year plan, and I think that'd be the biggest thing I learned is to really try to still focus on your 5 and 10-year goals, even though you're up to your neck with the Valentine's Day COVID type demand. So that's probably what I learned the most, Saeed, is it's really easy for organizations to get caught up in the day-to-day where it's very hard to look forward when you're so busy. That's what I learned.
So thank you for that. And I think we have a question or a comment, Adam?
Yes, we've got a couple of comments. So Linda Burgess from Blooms to Florist, big fan of the show. She says hi to both of you. And also, come on, guys. You guys know you guys do much more than sales and logistics. So she sends her hugs. And then, again, David, another good friend of the show, he says welcome as well. And he really likes the backdrop.
Thank you.
Oh, it's beautiful back there. It's amazing.
It is a
It's
beautiful backdrop.
gorgeous.
Beautiful
I
backdrop.
think you called it. It looks like an ESPN set when we walked in.
Yes,
It's like,
yeah.
looks like the
Very
Super
cool.
Bowl in
It
Miami
does.
Beach or something.
Next time we'll wear that little helmet.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
it's a big festival.
Willie, any questions?
Um, so COVID threw us a curveball and a bonus ball.
True.
At the
100%.
same time.
Yeah.
Because first of all, everybody thought the Earth was ending. The sky was
Right.
falling, and then
Sky's
suddenly you can't get enough flowers because everybody was locked at home, wanted flowers,
Hmm.
and everybody's racing as fast as they could. I know from a trucking standpoint, they had to give less service, less days of service,
Sure.
so they could put more flowers on the truck and make the truck swim.
Correct.
And used to be where that would cause a whole lot of trouble.
True.
You tell somebody you're taking 2 days of service away from them,
Sure.
they
Right.
freak out.
Great question.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
And now they're like, okay, is the truck going to get here? Just let me know. So everybody had to be very accommodating
Yes.
because
Everybody adapted to the change.
everybody had to adapt to the change. Otherwise, you didn't work.
Thank you all watching for adapting to the change and making our lives a little less stressful.
So has that continued, right? And how
Yeah.
are they adapting? How are they working? I know that you implemented. You need a dock, right?
Correct.
Things like that, but they're adjusting to that, right? They're realizing
Yes.
what we've been treated very well.
I believe all of our customers have been very helpful in the industry. They're helping receive the product, especially those that do not have docks, because they still are out there. There's geographic locations that are prohibitive to
Sure.
a delivery dock. So the customer is showing up, they're helping the drivers unload, and they're making the delivery environment safer and more attractive so that the drivers don't complain because we're trying to make their life easier. So I feel like the customers have done a lot. So thank you all. And they're helping. So it's forever changing and we're doing the right thing.
But
So
it's
I
still
think good.
staying. It's almost changing the culture then, right? But before.
Yeah, so you used to wake up in the morning and go in and your flowers are in the cooler. Now you're waking up at 2 a.m. potentially to go meet your truck because the drivers need help. And we really do appreciate that, as do the drivers.
Yeah, without drivers, the whole system falls apart.
Correct.
So, you got to have drivers, and you got to make them as accommodating as possible. We've been trying to do that for years. Forgive me for
That's
switching
okay.
my Armelini hat on, but trying to do that for so many years. Tell them to have a dock or have a pallet jack when the guy gets there, or a bathroom, or
Right.
the lights on, or
Right.
something so that the driver makes his job easy. It's a hard job.
It is hard. They're out there every day. That's their life. Is
Exactly.
they are on the road and it is not easy.
Yeah, you guys
go
make
ahead.
me think it's almost like it was a time machine because there was a lot of things that needed to be done. But when normal business is happening, it takes longer to get it done. Where this
Correct.
was like
Fix it.
Superman
Now.
Superman was
Right.
spinning around, the world was
Oh,
going a
I'm
little faster than normal, and you have to accommodate and be patient. And customers who've done amazing things through creativity and drop points and milk runs and all the stuff we can talk about, but it's more the flexibility, change management, and that world sped up and everyone had to kind of do what you were supposed to do anyway, I think,
Right.
like Willie said, but do it faster, quicker because of the circumstances.
Totally agree.
What are some tips you could give wholesalers and distributors and mass markets to work with you better, right? What are some things, either give you more time in advance, set up the system where they're giving coffee to the drivers?
Sure.
What are some best practices you've seen that really help move it along?
Honestly, the compassion for the drivers out there doing this day after day make their life easier.
Okay.
Whatever they could do. And I know this is easier said than done, but be prepared for the unexpected and there's a delay. Okay, so let's try to be more proactive and not reactive. But again, it's harder to do it. I don't know.
How about yourself?
Yeah, I think the same thing, like the 24-hour communication and things that maybe managers aren't used to doing in the past. We have to be really able to respond to things quicker, and there's expectations with how fast our phones work now and
Sure.
our computers. So I think that's what I've really took out of you guys talking is just to be a little quicker on my game because there's so much coming at you. Yeah.
And I think wholesalers realize because they were having trouble getting drivers too.
Sure. That's
They lost their drivers.
empathy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
All in the
Local
same boat.
drivers.
All in the
Everybody
same boat.
was it was a real, okay, yeah, I get it, because I can't find drivers either. So
Right.
I get your problem.
Yeah, very
You are
relatable
right.
from
Very relatable.
from a one stand here on Coronado Island who had restrictions, and she's outdoor stand and battles the elements, to a big bouquet maker. Those things were real, and we all faced them, and I think that's right. It kept us bonded. Yeah, like you said.
Is there any aspect of the business that's growing more for you at the moment? Is it wholesale? Is it retail? Or is it supermarket, mass market? Is there an aspect of the business that actually grew?
On our end, a little more mass market.
Okay.
I think grocery business has been a focus for floral trade for a long time, but we really see more. Well, sorry, no one's going to hear me, but no, I'm just kidding. But we see a growth in that sector, and we're happy for that. We really like to work with the mass market area.
That's a big one, huh?
I know.
Yeah, that thing's cool.
Wow, it's an
helicopter-ish.
They have some, well, they all have them, but sometimes they turn them on at night. The whole bottom will be green, and the edge of the propellers turn green.
Oh, neat.
It's so cool.
What
It's
a
like
cool-
4th of July, but it's
Right.
just like
a light
a
show.
normal night. It's really good.
That is neat.
We have lovely distractions.
Yes, I'm
We
very
do.
easily distracted.
But
I
they're
have to-
beautiful, though. They're beautiful. Though.
That's a good point. It is an amazing setting. We're looking at a 10 to 15 mile an hour onshore flow today, about 81 degrees, but you wouldn't know it. High humidity because
It
the
is
monsoons
hot.
are
I was
up.
just gonna
This
say
is
it's
our
supposed to be cooler.
weather channel.
We're doing the surf update now. We got
A little
one to
warmer
one
than I
and a half.
expected.
We got wind whipped winds coming.
So
from
you'll do the traffic
South
alert.
That's right. I'll be traffic.
you'll be traffic alert.
Hopefully the wind's gonna actually. I looked this up. The wind it will come from the desert now. Next
Okay.
couple days,
Okay.
creating a different environment. It's called the Santa Ana conditions, which really stresses out here in California, Willie and Said, because we get a lot of variables in trucking that you don't think of, right? Freeways closed because of accidents or bad weather, but here in Southern California, there can also be wildfires. So we just had a great conversation with a grower up in Fallbrook about some contingency planning, because we know we're at a high alert because it hasn't rained here in 9 months. As truckers, we're just as tied to the weather, I think, as the growers.
Sure.
And obviously the retailers, they don't want a blizzard on Valentine's Day. Well, we don't want one 2 weeks before Valentine's Day. So we're constantly paying attention to the weather. And this season here in Southern California, I guess a heads up to everybody, it's a very Santa Ana type forecast, and there could be an increase in delays off the 15 freeway in particular, which does affect a lot of our outgoing shipments. The waxflower and eucalyptus that leaves the state could be affected by the weather, just like the hurricane
Sure.
season in Miami. So
Yeah.
that's our forecast for the day.
You wouldn't be a Lakers fan, would you?
No,
Well, I'm a
no,
SoCal fan. Really, I did grow up a Cleveland Cavs fan. I'm originally from Ohio, so I was a big Price and Doherty and Cleveland Cavs fan. And then obviously LeBron, being from our home state, was a big Cleveland, Miami fan. I followed him everywhere he went.
Right.
Fan, so he's
Right.
here in town, and I'm obviously have ties to the
Is
area.
that
I've
why
been,
you moved here?
been here since '99. Well, I moved
Following
here for the weather report, honestly. So,
Sure.
I moved here in '99, and definitely follow all the local sports. We have a great Major League Baseball team, big soccer
And you have a new
contingency.
baby? Was that your baby?
No, that was
Somebody else's baby.
I love babies, as you guys know, but
Baby, I couldn't
that's
say that.
Stephen Kennecott's grand.
that's-
His name is Wyatt.
Why is
He is a sweetheart.
he's the best?
He is so cute.
Did you put him? Did
He's
you
having
end up
fun.
rocking him?
No, the Nona
Can you-
Nat machine didn't quite work.
Are you gonna
He-
tell it
He was
now?
distracted.
It's a great segue. So it turns out, I can't tell everyone, you're the best at putting babies
Oh,
to
then-
sleep.
yes, I have. I don't know what it is,
You're
but
a baby
apparently,
whisperer.
I have 3 grandchildren,
All right.
and I am the Nat machine.
So let's go to our
No, not that machine.
let's go to our fun questions
Sure.
real quick. So one, we just asked these to people get to know you personally a little bit,
Okay.
right? So and that's a great segue because that would have been one of your most interesting
The
things.
baby whisperer.
But what's your favorite color? It's a simple thing.
My favorite color?
Yeah.
That's an easy one. Well, black. Some people don't consider black a color, so if it's a shade, then my next color is yellow. Because for those of you that do not know me, I bleed black and yellow. I'm a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
And what's your favorite band?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Honestly, on the spot, and I don't know exactly who I would choose, but I'd have to go Dave Matthews.
Good one. Grave Digger's a great song. And favorite flower?
I like all white flowers. I decorate with white flowers and greens. But if I had to choose one specific flower, I would say tulip.
Cat, cat or dog?
I have 2 dogs, but I'm a cat person.
All right. So
I have to be honest.
But you have 2 dogs and no cats?
I have no cats. Actually, I had one that was passed away when he was only 9.
All right.
And with the current dog situation, one was there with the cat. The other one would not do well with a cat right now. So I have to not risk the life of a cat for the big dog.
And what's one thing interesting about you that no one knows other than being a baby whisperer?
Ooh, that nobody knows? I don't know. I'm kind of an open
That you
book.
can share.
Oh, that I can share. You know me too well, Sahid. 1 inch. I played college softball.
There you go.
Not everybody knows that.
That is cool. You're an athlete. So how about yourself, Mike? Here we go. So what's your favorite color?
I got to go red. Red's my favorite color.
Red.
Red's your favorite color?
Yeah.
What's your favorite cheese?
Favorite cheese? I'm a provolone guy. I live in Little Italy down here in San Diego.
Okay.
And if you don't like provolone,
You
we
got the
kick you out.
provolone.
Yeah, exactly.
Favorite band?
Favorite band at
Really
the.
has a band. So
I'm always like a pop culture guy, Saeed. So I got to go Bad Bunny right now. I'm really.
You
I
like
got
Bad Bunny?
I got
Bad
my
Bunny.
concert tickets at Petco coming up in a couple weeks. So
We gotta-
you guys might have to come back for the Bad Bunny show.
Bad Bunny.
And I think we have a question from the audience
Oh, sweating.
and another
Oh.
huge fan.
So David is still very engaged, and he's got some more questions, and we got another one coming in. So, David, going back to talking about the freight, he's saying push for more standard boxes and maybe have incentives for farms and clients that have a standard, efficient quarter box.
Yeah, Armelini, David's a big fan of that, right? David Armelini of the
Yes.
standard
Well,
box.
I feel like all carriers would be a big fan of going standard box
Did
size.
that also help
Yes,
you? Have you?
of course.
Tell us about that, because David Armelini is always
Yeah.
talking about that and preaching, and I don't think we hear enough of that coming from another angle.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think like a real life example that I hope everyone could relate to is the outbound freight from California is very standardized because you didn't have a choice. So
Yes.
10 years ago, we all used different boxes than the world did. So we used 40 by 16 by 8 and 44. I could go through the list and I need my little cheat sheet, but when I'm loading that truck, because there's no one else to load it, as we said, there's no laborers. So the guys from the office, as I call them, the office jockeys, we all go out there and pretend like we know what we're doing. And when we load that California truck, it's very efficient. And then sometimes I see what we all send
Where-
back from Miami, and it's
A
different.
million little box sizes.
And look,
Yeah.
we got exceptions. Gladiolas are tall and the Tweety is short, needs water, but in general, it's one box, one size. And I think California's done a great job. CalFlowers spearheaded that about 12 years ago. Big shout out, by the way, CalFlowers putting
Yes,
us up
we
here
can't thank you guys.
in
enough.
the ESPN stage. This is awesome. So, in general, I think that's a real life example we all should admire and tote as something we could work together in other parts of the world to create those kind of standardizations.
Yeah, and somebody like Queen's Flowers, for instance, a gigantic bouquet maker and grower, they have 4 box sizes, I believe.
Exactly.
They make the prettiest palette that's perfect to
Yeah.
protect.
Yeah.
Yes, to protect the
That's the
flowers
idea.
from getting damaged, because when you have all the different box sizes, it's very challenging to put
They
the
don't
right
stack
box
nice.
on the top and for the palette not to fall over. So we're trying to protect the product and
Yeah.
also move it up the road all nice and neat.
But you guys
And
bring
make-
up a good point too, because we pride ourselves on being a flower company, flower educated company who started a transportation business 15 years ago. So we see those things when the hydrangea box, LTL, one box is on top of boxes of Salal, and it's a big effort to break it down and do it the right way. And you find less and less labor that can do it that way. So I think the standardized boxes, as your viewer brings up, is a good way to avoid those kind of situations.
It would help a lot.
It would help a lot.
It's a really good point.
But that was if we all had a magic wand.
That was one of my questions.
That
too.
magic
that
wand.
magic wand question, remember? Everybody
What's your
cracked
favorite
up
one?
on
The magic one.
The magic
the magic wand question. So, how has your experience been here at CalFlowers? Tell me about your experience. How has it been for you?
It has been phenomenal. Just seeing everybody out and about and being able to be close together, and just the person interaction has been great. And of course, the venue is great, and you guys CalFlowers has done a phenomenal job with having everything set up, bringing us all together. So thank you, CalFlowers, for doing
Yeah.
that.
You know,
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. There was a lot of energy, and we were at the Flower Feeling breakfast this morning.
Very cool.
It's a big project for marketing to the consumer. CalFlowers has graciously donated large sums of money to the sustainability of this program. So
$500,000 a year.
you go to breakfast, we're a little tired, everybody's getting the coffee, and you hear these kind of numbers and see the kind of enthusiasm.
Wakes you up.
It's just this like breathing this 10-mile-an-hour wind. You're wide awake and ready to go. So I'm really happy for Steve Dion and his crew at CalFlowers and the board members and this beautiful flower fair I just walked through to see our little tabletop. And I mean, you could smell it from. I actually didn't need the little arrows because
You could
about
smell your way through.
200
Smell your way
yards
to the
away, I was like,
ballroom.
I know
It's
where
a lot of
I'm going.
Californian product, and it's just
Oh
beautiful.
yeah, from all over the world. I see Wayfex stuff. They came when the Wayfex stuff came. I think there wasn't one country they didn't hit. So, CalFlowers is a companies that are based here, but the flowers come from Baja. They come from Central Mexico, and they have to stop in here because the market's up in LA. And we combine that with all the beautiful eucalyptus and wax and pincushion proteas and all the farmers here in town, like we talked off the 15 earlier example. There's so many farmers doing a great job, and all the guys up north in Oregon, Washington. I think CalFlowers has done a great job to bring everyone together. I saw donations from South America, both Ecuador and Miami and Costa Rica, and Ethiopia had the donation, and Baja sent as equal amount of flowers as Central Mexico. So it's really exciting to see the booths and all the diversity that CalFlowers has been able to bring together here in one place. Really neat.
Mike's
Very
product
cool.
knowledge really,
I was
I admire
impressed.
that. I admire that. I need to do better with my product knowledge because
Yeah.
it's, I
Well, some
admire
of
that.
it, we sit here and like, I go to Baja quite a bit down to, I love Baja, Mexico. I'm a Cholos pass holder for the last 6 years. It's our Mexican League Soccer. Shout out to the Cholos. My boys are going to love that back home. So we're the, a border town that sees things here that I don't see things in Miami that you guys have perspective on. So it's nice you taught me so much last night about your city and things that are happening with freight and stuff. So it's the same open invitation here. I'd say
We have a caller.
we could talk. So
We have a comment.
Well, that's kind of like
We'll take the comment and then it's comment.
Yeah, so you sticking on the topic of freight, of course, we've got Euphoria Flowers saying, "Good day to all. We have many customers east of the Mississippi that are struggling with the 30 to 40% increase in freight costs. This will affect outbound volume from California. You guys have any ideas on how that can be fixed?"
You have to. Can you repeat that? I
Yeah,
can't hear you.
absolutely.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. So Euphoria is saying. We all have many customers east of the Mississippi that are struggling with the 30 to 40% increase in freight costs. And so they're saying this will affect the outbound volume from California. How can this be fixed?
I believe, honestly, right now, I think people are feeling the pain of the rates because of the fuel surcharge. Obviously, that's kind of out of our control, and we do all hope that the fuel surcharge decreases. So I know at Mooney, sometimes the rates are higher, excluding the surcharge, just because of the operational costs going up, which, as everybody knows, since COVID, everything has gone up.
yeah, well, it's a really good question. I mean, the last
good
thing we need is less freight leaving, whether it's from Miami or JFK or Chicago, all the port entries like Southern California. In this case, I think the question was outbound freight from California to a market like Mississippi. I mean, the main thing that I think to combat that is, and your company, Armelini, is so good at it, is try to find consolidation points and compromises and creative solutions. Look at cold storage facilities that do produce and things that, maybe you can work as a together and find a neutral party. These things aren't new, but now, like I said, we got the time machines going fast, so we got to slow it down and work on creative solutions for those kind of problems like Chad brings up from Euphoria. Yeah.
Great answer.
Great question. Great answer. Thank you so much.
All right.
Final question. Willie, you have a
No, I'm good.
question? The final question, what does that flower feeling mean to you?
Hey, that wasn't on the list, was it?
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't.
What's
That's
not?
the
A
curveball.
curveball question.
It is baseball season.
I think that it really does. I think flowers make everybody feel better. And to me, I think the room looks cleaner, happier, feels more homey when you bring it inside and you have it there for everybody to admire. I always receive compliments on my flowers, and I don't even know how to design, but I always receive flower comments whenever I have them on the table. It's great. Flowers make you feel better.
How about yourself, Mike?
Well, that's
What's
a
that
really
flower
good
feeling mean to
point
you?
because the flower feeling for us in the industry, we just worked 100 hours and we're going home tired. You got that bunch of roses that's dying in the trunk, and nobody wants to deal with it upstairs because you got to wash the
Nobody wants
vase
to
and
deal
find the
with
vase and get
Right.
the scissors. You
Finding
just did
the
it all day for 100 hours, and as beautiful as it is, the flower feeling to me is you still do it. You take that bunch. You're never gonna let it die. Like you guys,
Right.
you guys know, we're not gonna leave something in our car
Give
overnight.
it a new life.
You're tired, you go back down the elevator, you get the keys, you get it out.
Yes.
Now it's about midnight and you're cutting and you're putting it in water. And the next morning you're like, that's the flower feeling, because that was a big effort to have that in my life, but it was so worth it.
You got the
that's-
reward in the end.
When I was here in Steve
Yeah.
Talk today, I thought of that. Like, as much as it's some of it equals hard work and a nuisance, we all have flowers in our house. Willie's got them on his hat. That took work, and he's working out here. So it's the flower feeling to go through all those pains and still be able to make your own self
So a
arrangement
flower
on
feeling
your
is
Sunday
rewarding,
farmers
I guess,
market.
right?
Yeah,
It's rewarding.
it's a vibe, bro.
All
It's
the
a
hard
vibe.
work pays off.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
awesome. So again, thank you so much.
Thank you,
I
guys.
didn't mention in the beginning, but they were also sponsors of the Bloom Show. So thank you for that, guys, for being a part of that. And you were the logistic sponsors for the event, correct? How many? Both of you, right?
Mhm.
Oh
And
yeah.
how many truckloads did you have?
I know we did too.
Yeah, it was Armelini brought 60 pallets, and we
Okay.
found
You guys
another
did last
30
mile.
locally.
Mhm.
So I think it was a record, just like the attendance here. We had 90 pallets came.
We
and
heard it was about $1 million
Worth of flowers.
Worth of flowers
Wow.
is an estimate
Wow.
there.
If
which
you
is
guys,
pretty
yes,
sick.
if everybody could see it, it's beautiful. Everything is decorated. I know I received a fresh vase of flowers.
could-
Oh,
we
you
all
did,
did,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
It's great.
How nice.
So
I felt
thank-
bad checking out today. I was handing
Thank you
them
to all the
out.
growers, by the way. I don't know if we gave a shout out to all the growers.
Really
So,
good point. The
donated flowers.
donations are
Donations.
tremendous.
Thank you.
So many,
Yes.
so much. I don't know how many stems, but I'm sure CalFlowers should be proud
Yeah,
of all
supposedly we heard it
that.
was $1 million. Yes,
Wow.
on the show,
Wow.
So, an estimate of. So.
Amazing.
But again,
That's a lot.
thank you guys. Thank you,
Appreciate it.
CalFlowers, for doing this for us.
And it wasn't terrible, was it? We did it.
I'm
See?
still sweating, but I don't know if it's the heat now.
Yeah, it could have
So-
something to
so
do with
we
a black
earned our
top
lunch
on
today.
in the sunlight.
Great.
So again,
All
guys,
right.
check in tonight, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're gonna have a couple people. We're gonna have FJ for Continental Floral Greens, Juan Carlos for Drum and Nectar,
Nice.
Frank Biddle from Frank Biddle International, and Jason Kendall from Kendall Farm. So, and we're gonna have a couple more pop-in calls as well, and jump-in couch calls, you could say. So do tune in tonight, and thank you again for joining. Truly appreciate it.
Thanks for
See ya.
inviting us. Appreciate it.